Okay, let's go to Dave Petrishen, the sports doctor out of Winnipeg. Can't imagine what he's got to say for himself today, the sports doctor. How you doing, David?
Outstanding. Thank you. What a tremendous program today with Grapes, of course, and Jim Hobson. That the only time I like to listen to somebody from the Saskatchewan Roughriders is when Jim Hobson's talking.
Oh, yeah. Well, Clark was saying you feel very honored that Don Cherry was your warm-up act. That's pretty cool, absolutely. Dave.
I'm the main event tonight. I appreciate that.
That's right. I missed you coming to Regina for the Labor Day Classic, by the way, because there was no Labor Day Classic. CFL Sim, of course, the Riders beat the Bombers 29-0. I had nothing to do with it, Dave. But what was your weekend? Go ahead.
Like that quack. Yeah, like you had some quack on last year from the University of Saskatoon with his computer guru stuff, and he said that the Saskatchewan Roughriders is going to win the whole thing. So I'm sure that, you got Sask Energy and you got your Saskatchewan cable companies. There's nothing to do with that, right?
I remember it all now that you say that. Who did win the Grey Cup? I can't even remember. Who won it last year?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Have you had a chance, Dave? Hey, you got the replica?
I do.
What entitles you to get that?
It's hey, come on. What are you talking about? I'm the sports doctor. No, actually, these are the ones that are for sale. I've done work with the alumni before, so it's actually a very, very good ring. It has the weight, and it can. And if you wanted to get even a little bit closer up, it has like a little bit more of the stuff on there, some Winnipeg stuff, and it looks like it's a really nice. They did a really nice job.
Producer Clark just said you got a Grey Cup ring because you're the official parade planner. You only had 30 years to perfect it, Dave.
Oh, come on. 11 Grey Cups versus how many out there? I'm not sure.
No, I'm not being that guy. I'm just having fun here today. That was,
I know. But you talked about going back to all seriousness, going to Labor Day in Regina, and you guys talked about this at the beginning of the program. It's the social aspect of the CFL that's really, really missing right now. It's not so much the actual games, because we can watch football games anywhere. We can watch our team on television. TSN does a great job. We can listen on radio. But when you talk about the different friends that you miss, and there's people that would go to Regina that live in Winnipeg, might even live close to me, that I would never see. The only time I'd see them would be in Regina. And it's kind of like that at football games too. You have your friends in life, and you have your family in life. Then you have your football family and your football friends. So that's the real disappointment about the CFL season not taking place this year.
Oh, disappointing is putting it lightly. And so stick with me on this. Marc-Olivier Brulette was on here last week. He says Montreal was hurt the worst by the season cancellation because they were just on the upswing. There are analysts and pundits in Saskatchewan saying, hey, the Riders were first place last year, right? Host of the Western Final, and they were on the rise and have this big high-priced quarterback in Cody Fajardo. And I could go along with that. But the Bombers really got nailed, too, by this, man. What's your take on that? Would they be the worst, hit the hardest of any CFL team having the season canceled?
I think so. That momentum, kind of just squashes a little bit, like just fizzles out, because you can only, celebrate your 21st birthday so long, right? You know what I mean? When you go down to Vegas, you can only do that once. I think, if careful marketing could, build on this a little bit, keep building excitement. I get a lot of emails from the football club and opportunities to buy more merchandise or to do things. And there's a lot of information being shared, more so than ever before. I get a weekly newsletter, and I know I've also signed up for a lot of the stuff on the Saskatchewan Roughriders too, because you always got to figure out what your enemy is doing. But they're going to do. But at certain points. And I think you talked that with Jim in the show. Football is not like food or shelter or important things in life. And there are a lot of, I don't want to use the word casualties, just throw that around liberally, but there's a lot of people that aren't going to be as well off in a year's time that they may have been right coming off the what should have been a year ago. So there's going to be less disposable income for people. And that's going to be a big problem, not only for the Canadian Football League, for a lot of entertainment entities across Canada.
It's a great point. And here's another one for you. I heard Wade Miller badly wanted to play. And obviously he did, the president of the Bombers, because you guys had the bubble in your backyard. And I believe the Rough Riders badly wanted to play. I heard the president of the Eskimos, the Edmonton football team, I believe his name's Chris Person, wanted to play, but the board didn't. of Edmonton. And then you got Bob Young coming out today saying he wanted to play. What do you believe the split was, Dave, and how many teams wanted to play and didn't?
Well, we have an American Association baseball team, and Winnipeg couldn't host any baseball games. So the Winnipeg Goldeyes played, their home field was Fargo, North Dakota. And so then they're playing in bubbles. There's Sioux Falls, and I think there's close to Milwaukee is another hub. So all it is a huge expense for the owner, Sam Cates, of our club. So I would imagine that the outlay of cash for salaries and all the coaches and trainers and stuff to come to Winnipeg wouldn't be compensated by the money. So it probably is a bit of relief. Like we always know, this is a gate-driven league. So, you don't have to pay any salaries or you don't have to pay anything. So it's going to be neutral. I don't know what kind of interest, how much interest do we have in Major League Baseball right now? How much interest did we have before the real playoff rounds of the National Basketball Association? We have a lot of interest in hockey because that's our national game, and people are just going to watch because hockey's on. So would football in October, meaningless games, really mean anybody, not even at home? Football, you need to go there. Think about this. Football is the only sport where you as a fan can make a difference. Talk about, drawing the other team offside, illegal procedure, time code violations. Football is the only sport. Nobody in hockey gets the extra penalty because the other team couldn't hear before they created a play. Nobody has that. Football, the Canadian Football League, the National Football League, they're going to find this out, that you need fans in the stands to make a difference. The games are just not going to be the same. So on one side of me says, I wish football was back, but I wish football was back the way it's supposed to be. I'm not sure if I'd be that interested watching it in a bubble.
No, hey, there's a rant right there. Rack him. That's fantastic. And listen, this is the one thing that the CFL teams and the league office need to realize if they don't already. And I'm kind of wondering if they do. As a sports fan, which I am, as are you and Darren, we all are.
Yep.
The teams are all tugging for your attention, right? They're all trying putting stuff in front of your face with the social media, the mail-outs, as you said. And I'm not getting into tennis, but I've gotten into racing.
Nope.
And we're going to be talking about the Queen's Plate coming up and so forth. But you need to be out there. You need to be in, because if you don't do the interviews and you don't have the hype, you will go away. Like, for instance, I got ESPN at my house, Dave. I've been thoroughly enjoying U.S. high school football because football is my thing. And hockey, right, too. But that's what I will watch. So I'm just saying the CFL needs to get people's attention. And other than the fan base, what is there? Not much. And by the way, Bomber linebacker Micah, always watching in Texas. Micah, have I got that right, Micah? He says, I beg to differ. I do not have a Grey Cup ring. That's what I'm getting in Winnipeg. I have plenty of reason, as do my teammates who have a whole year off of football. Now, we jumped a bunch of topics since he wrote that in, so I'm not sure specifically what he's talking about, but I appreciate you watching, Micah, and writing in as always. David, your take on Chris Streveler making the Cardinals. Not only has he made the Cardinals, he's making the news down there. He's just that kind of guy, I guess. I don't know anything about him other than what I've seen on the field. But what do you think Chris Streveler's future means in Arizona? What lies in store for him there?
We saw this guy as kind of uncut gem, a very raw talent that we saw him develop in front of our eyes. And one thing that you can't ever accuse him of is not being enthusiastic. There's a kid that just took anything that was given to him. It didn't matter if he was on one leg, how banged up he was, how broken he was, and he just gave everything. And I think that enthusiasm must have shone through to the people of Arizona, because from what I understand, they're embracing him. But the kid, the willingness to learn, the willingness to put his body on the line, the untapped potential on him. So obviously they see something good in that. It's a disappointment to us here in Winnipeg because, a lot of times people don't make the National Football League and then they come back and resume a very successful career. But it's going to be exciting to watch. My team is still the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going to be wearing purple if they're playing the Arizona Cardinals. There's no doubt about that. But it's fascinating. Just like when Warren Moon made the National Football League after a career with Edmonton, we always kept an eye on Warren Moon. We always watched the people that started in the Canadian Football League, and we wish them great success. And Chris Streveler, we wish him a lot of success, but just not against the Minnesota Vikings.
What's the outlook for the Vikings in the Cheese League, Dave?
I can't think of a better way to start the season. Like, I probably would have been down there. The Vikings did a very nice job of communicating the season tickets. Mine is on pause. I got my money back. I received an email Friday in case they wanted me to put a cardboard cutout of myself in the stands for $150 American money. Net proceeds, of course, going to charity. But I didn't do that. But I think we have a great squad. Everybody right now is tied, right? So we're going to find out. And a great opponent, a great measuring stick, is the mighty Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers on this Sunday at noon Winnipeg time. That's awesome. That's exciting. David, thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for the time, and let's do this more often, please. Sir, you're a good sport. Appreciate you. Absolutely. And this today with Don Cherry and Jim Hobson, this probably got to be up there in your top 5 shows. That's for sure. And the Sports Doctor, too. I think it's number 1. It is. Oh, yeah. It is number 1, David. Yes, humbly. Going down in history, you're part of it. Thank you, David. My best to all in Winnipeg. Thank you. The Sports Doctor joining us from the Manitoba capital.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.